Hello, my name is Downing Hudson. I'm a 7th grade teacher of world history, and I like to use a lot of simulations in my class. I find simulations are a wonderful way to bring history alive for my students. It creates a real-world situation where they can interact with the content and make it relevant to their lives. Because simulations really bring history to life, it gives the students a hands-on way to learn the content. I found it to be a wonderful way to help the students retain their knowledge. It's not just that they're learning something from a book, but they are interacting with it. They are communicating with other students about things that happened at this time. And what I find is that my students, not only do they retain the knowledge better, it comes out on their test scores that they have gained and received the knowledge, and it comes out that they're enjoying themselves and they have a great time doing it. First, you come up with your idea. What do you want them to do? What is your concept you're trying to teach them? Secondly, you gather your materials. What are you going to use in your simulation? Third, you plan the activities for that simulation. Your student should be responsible for some sort of information coming into the simulation and or coming out of the simulation. And fourth, they need to be able to have learned from the simulation and be able to either respond to it, maybe in an essay, or if it's on the test, or some sort of assessment. You will have to plan for that as well. In order to prep for these simulations, you will have to do a little shopping. I find that a very good time to shop for materials for my simulations is right after Halloween. Old Halloween costumes are fantastic props for your simulations. I actually have a dress-up box in my classroom where I put a lot of the props that I use throughout the year. In fact, I think now I have 2 dress-up boxes because I've added to my props throughout the year. It is going to take a little initial expense, but then once you have used them, you can use them again and again and again. And often you can use the same props for different things. For example, I have a lace collar. I use this for a scientific revolution role play that I do, Galileo. I also use it for my French Revolution. This is part of the nobility in the Second Estate. So they can be used over and over again. You just have to be creative, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Wrap this around a young man's neck, and they get a big kick out of that, and it makes the statement that it's fun and frilly and like the aristocracy. All right, just to give you an example of some of the simulations that I've done in my class, as I say, I teach world history. And for many of my 7th graders, this is the first time they've ever heard of something like the Enlightenment or imperialism. So I really try to make it come to life. This year, for example, during the Enlightenment, I did a cafe where we simulated a salon during the Enlightenment time where all of the thinkers would gather together and discuss the events of the day. Mary, thank you very much, Bessie. World War II is another time that we do several simulations. The first thing we do is we start out baking a war, where we put all the ingredients that represent the causes of World War II into a cake. And so the students get to bake a war. And then we do a trench warfare simulation. We take our desk and put the legs facing outward to simulate barbed wire. And we have the students down in the trenches writing letters home. We make the room very, very cold. It's usually in the wintertime. We leave the window open. So to conclude on simulations, if you want to find a way to make learning come alive to your students, to make the content really go deeper with your content, to make the retention better, to get better scores on your tests and better grades for your students, try simulations. Not only is it fun for the students, it's also a lot of fun for the teachers.